Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Thanks for having me, Ava. Yes, I'm with you. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me? Today, I just want to encourage you to not give up. That why some of us we're going through tests and we're going through trials, but we don't realize that the tests and trials that we face is because of our purpose. Okay, I'm hearing a little feedback. Are you okay, Ava? Okay, great then. All right. So let me tell you my journey. My testimony I've written so far in about 6 books. I'm a serial author. I left the traditional workplace to pursue my purpose because God has told me that it's end times and He has work for me to do in a different area. Right. So now He has been leading me from teaching towards community building, towards becoming a publisher. So now I'm helping people to publish their own books. I do prophetic intercessions. I have a prophetic ministry called Holistic Healing Ministry, and I help persons in other ways. All right. So it's a big vision. We'll be doing magazines and all those things. But I just want to tell you, people, we live in a spiritual world. Life is spiritual. I was naive to this. Raised in the church, love my church and all of that. But something was missing from my life, and I thought that church eventually got boring because is this just it? I wasn't having that spiritual connection, right? Anyway, God told me when I was 40 thereabout that He brought me to fix me, and He told me that I have a purpose in ministry, and He had to do it a dramatic way through a spiritual encounter, got in trance, I met Jesus face to face, and all of that, right? However, what was important is that He says purpose impacts our destiny. Prior to that, He had told me at 21 when I accepted Him as Lord that I have a purpose for you, but I thought it was in my job. I didn't hear anybody talking about purpose. So I thought through my personality and the things that I love to, the fact that I love to talk and so forth, that that was it, right? And I left the church and went my own way. And God found this creative way to get me back, right? Through the oppression, through the warfare, through the things that He had to teach me because it's end times. And I was purposed to be a prophet, just like many of you listening are purposed to be end time warriors, remnant for the kingdom of God. All right. So the Lord called me His dragon slayer, and in the prophetic, He allows me to help people by retrieving soul fragments that are on altars in different parts of the realm, whether it be in the astral, marine kingdom, underworld, hell, wherever it is. All right. I also give a lot of end time messages. But I want you to know that God know your purpose before you came here. Because before you were formed in your mother's womb, God knew you as spirit, right? So there's a reason for existence. Don't resist Him because of pride or because of fear or because you think people are going to say you're crazy. People say that I'm crazy too because I do crazy things. But God said to me, Lisa, you are novel. Use that word novel. And each of us were made unique. We have different gifts so that we can give Him glory and we can help each other. And the same thing that they did to the prophets before you in the book of Matthew 5, same thing they will do to you. So I've experienced persecution from the church, from friends, from different places, right? But I'm so happy that I did not give up on life. I lost a lot because of spiritual warfare. I thought a lot about suicide. I had the opportunity to become a lesbian because there was a spirit in me that attracted me to the same sex, right? Fortunately, I was attracted to both genders, right? The devil used torment, torture, attack, abuse, all sort of abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse, parental abuse, all sort of different abuse, right? Rejection, from work, from school, from friends, from church. He used destabilization where he put up somebody who I thought was my friend in my life, and that person tried to take my whole life itself, not just wanted to see me dead, but she took who I was seeing, who I loved, and she stole from me purpose as well. I didn't know purpose could be stolen, but she stole from me in the spirit and tried to establish herself as a prophet in the spirit. Crazy stuff, people. The devil tried to use offense, betrayal, sickness. He sent attack to my breast. I heard the Lord say, okay, he said cancer, he sent different things to my intestine, but God just burned it out. You understand? God showed I was to do a surgery, and I was feeling immense pain. And the doctor said, okay, you need to do surgery. And that week I was to do the surgery. It was a tumultuous week. And God said, you will not do the surgery, because if you do the surgery, you're going to die. You need your hands and your feet to fight. It's spiritual warfare. And He showed me the group of things that were there attacking me. And He taught me how to use a poultice to help to heal. And He told me where to apply it. And after I applied it, after 3 days, that pain that I felt for months was gone. What happened? The enemy used a spear, plunged it in my lower back. So what was in the spirit manifested into the natural. So that is how sickness can affect us. You get injured in the spirit, it will manifest in the physical. So so if you have a spiritual sickness, you have to use the spirit to be healed. So God used the opportunity to start teach me a lot of things, right? And I realized that I was really ignorant. I was very bright. I knew a lot of things from the book. My word, I had a master's degree, right? And I was positioned for greatness. I had opportunity to go abroad to work. I got a scholarship abroad, right? But something kept pulling me back home. Little did I know that I was sacrificed at this particular place. And that is why I felt the need to keep going back to that particular place. Fortunately, in teaching me, the Lord had to reveal all that is happening just so that I can have my testimony, and so that He can get His glory, and so that other people can realize that you are not a failure. You are not experiencing lacking finances because of anything that you have done. I worked hard, I studied hard, I had good position, but I couldn't hold any money in my hand. Why? Because of altars, because of generational iniquity, because of warfare from Baphomet. You understand? Because I was sacrificed by Freemasons and witches and people who could see the generational wealth in my family. And because I was not walking with God when the sacrifice happened. So God wants me to teach you people that having a relationship with Him, having a covenant with Him matters. Because with that covenant, God honors it, and certain things couldn't happen. Because my core element, which is a part of my soul, and I know this might be deep for some people who don't understand that we are tripartite, body, soul, spirit, and that your soul, your light. We are a people of light, right? And light can be interspersed, it can be separated, right? So there are elements of us, of our soul, that can be separated from us and be held captive. And it will prevent us from performing even sexually, performing educationally, getting money and those things. It can affect our mind, right? And this, so the spiritual realm is deep. But fortunately, we are sharing this information through teachings, through books, because of ignorance, the people perish. So you need to know more than ever what it is that is preventing you from excelling in life. Now, can you imagine? I'm used to doing well and used to getting great report at work, and then all of a sudden I felt like I was failing. And I said, God, what is this? Why all of a sudden am I failing and I feel like a failure? And God said to me, you are not a failure. People only fail when they're not empowered to win. And He gave me 30 reasons why people fail right there in my office on that day. And He gave me a challenge and said, I want you to write a book on purpose, right? And He said, end your year strong. 2 books you're going to write within 6 weeks. I said, God, you're crazy. Will you give me this? I don't understand how you expect me to write 2 books in such a short time. But God proved to me that when you're purpose to do something, He will equip you to do what you're purposed to do. Once you walk in obedience, He will remove the veil from your eyes and he'll teach you step by step, and you will like what you're purposed to do. And in writing this book, I realized that there are hindrances to our life. There are hindrances to even so many of us accepting Jesus Christ. I didn't know that if you were sacrificed, that it would be hard to accept Jesus based on the part of you that was sacrificed.
Because you're talking some good stuff. Yeah. But as we really would have really loved to hear it a little clearer. We're hearing you, but you sound a little far away. You mentioned, being sacrificed, persons creating altars against you. You were wondering why you weren't thriving in the workplace, and just in your spiritual life, and you didn't know this financial life too. You didn't know this. You mentioned, just having the knowledge and so forth, but you didn't know this until when? When did you become aware of what was working against you?
I started to reveal 6 years ago when he started the ministry journey, and he said to me, "This is what I purpose you for ministry." And after I left the job, because he told me to leave my job, it's a process, right? He had to clear up everything that happened to me from birth for me to then launch out into ministry full time. So as I prayed, while I interceded, he speaks, and I write down and I note and hence the book. So the first book where I started to reveal the testimony is Testimony, a Love Story, Volume 1. And each time we do these group intercession, because I have a group and we all intercede, and God will reveal, He'll teach us how to fast and pray, and we know what to do. And He reveals my whole bloodline and the things that cause the failure, the attack, the warfare, the loss, me to be poor and all these things. I wasn't created to be poor. I came from a wealthy family.
So the Lord revealed to you what these altars were created for against you. So he would mention the financial aspect of your life, in other words, you're supposed to remain in poverty, so your work was affected, other things, other areas of your life. And the Lord, you were supposed to just keep failing in life. And the Lord revealed this to you. I mean, I'm sure, as you mentioned, it's when you started ministry and so forth, that you really started to connect with the Lord, that these things were revealed. Because sometimes we want persons, whether it be somebody to come and prophesy or someone to see them on our behalf, but the Lord showed you himself.
Surprisingly, why? Because I didn't know I was purposed to be an author. I didn't know I was purposed to be in ministry, right? I know I did not want to become a teacher, but after fighting, because I was in banking, and he led me to leave banking to become a teacher so I could learn the skill how to speak, right? And teach. Then, when I got to this particular stage, because at 21 he told me about purpose, but I ran from purpose. And he used oppression at work, workplace harassment, workplace bullying, fight through witches and warlock, but I didn't know anything about those things. I thought they were fantasy. I thought they were the stories. I didn't know witchcraft was real. My church said those things are foolishness. We don't, even though the Bible is there, we don't teach and speak about those things. We just knew about the love of God. You understand? So when he allowed me to leave the last job, to leave to go to the tertiary institution to teach, he connected me with a prophet, right, at the workplace. And he said to me, "Listen, do you know that you're a prophetess?" I said, "Oh, nobody told me anything about that." So he used different people to reveal different things in my life. But for some things, he says, "I'm telling you personally, wow. I don't owe anybody anything. You're not a seer, you're not another prophet, you are another prophet, and I want you to know this testimony." So for some things, especially in the Revelation, he ensures that there are people there with me, so there are witnesses when the revelations are coming.
Right.
I was there when it happened.
Right.
Even when my mother died, and he allowed her spirit to talk for 1 hour, 24 hours after her death, to say, Do not give up on ministry. This is my purpose for you. I was seeing her there. I was shocked out of my wits. She was in the same clothes I had on. And she was given, she said, I died suddenly. I didn't know anything about prophetic birthing. And she said, take my phone and record this message. Jesus authorized me to come and speak to you and to let you know that you and your sister have a purpose in ministry. The bishop was there with me in the car, my sister was there with me in the car, and I was having this spiritual encounter that shocked me, right? So it allows witnesses to be there. Before that happens, we allowed another minister to say to me that God purposed you to be a warrior. He purposed you to be like Joyce Meyer. Joyce Meyer is the conference, Joyce Meyer write multiple books. So that is how the prophetic word of becoming an author came. He purposed you to be a spiritual warrior, right? And one day we were meeting at Hope Gardens, and that was when I saw Jesus. He just hit me. I went into a trance, and I was face to face with Jesus, right? Prior to that, Jesus had took my spirit to hell, take me to the eight gates and show me that Baphomet is real and all these other things. But stages, the growth took stages. It took a lot of pain. We are going through pain. You know, we're going through pain. I lost relationships. I lost love. I lost friends. There were people who were calling me a witch because I had a gift they didn't understand. I lost a baby because the spiritual realm thought that this baby would have been a threat. When my star began to rise, it sent a message in the astral realm. Remember, like the Jesus and the Magi knew that someone special was being born, right? There was a prophecy that was given 7 generations before I came that a deliverer would come. And this person would not just help current family and people who needed deliverance, but people from the past, the ancestors who were in bondage. So God had to reveal to me, we had to have family intercession to deal with generational issues. And it was during the family intercession that the Lord revealed to me that one of the reasons why my marriage broke up was because this witch, what she did to my unborn baby, and he said to me, your daughter is fine, she's here with me, right? So
hold on then, Lisa.
To personally experience these things.
Personally experience these things. I'm hearing so many things coming out. I wish we had the time to really dissect, and that's why I need you in studio for part 2. And you will have to recap this because this is good stuff. What persons would say one woman cannot go through so much something not go so, you know, for you to be targeted, for sacrifices to be made, you know, altars to be made, you know, against you, for persons to be Eve turn around call you witch, or you know you lost your baby, you know, because of the spiritual warfares that you were going under or experiencing. And folks don't know sometimes when you're called to greatness these things will happen, you know, and you have to really develop this, you know, listening ear for when the Lord is guiding and directing and instructing you, and you have done that. I want to hear more from you. I really want you to be in studio the next time because there's so much, and I will want to be able to really understand and, you know, for you to dissect this for us. You know, so I'm hoping that, you know, the next time around you'll be able to be in studio to share. Lisa Ann Clark is her name, an educator, serial author, and a ministry leader. This woman is a prophetic author as well. But just the encounters she would have had, the many things, as I listed before, that came up against her and that she had to deal with because of the call over her life and the ministry attached to her life, and so many things that the Lord is investing in her. It was not easy. How she triumphed, how she get through. In fact, probably she's still getting through. She'll be sharing part 2 another time so that we'll be able to hear her life story and be empowered and encouraged as we go along in ministry. I appreciate your time, and I hope that we can book that time again so that we can have you in studio. Is that okay?
That's okay. You can tell them they can hear some of the stories on Holistic Healing Ministries on my YouTube page as well.
Holistic, go again. Go again. Holistic
Healing Ministries Jamaica.
Right, on YouTube for more of her testimonies.
On YouTube for teachings and testimonies. Yes.
Teachings and testimonies. Appreciate you, Lisa and Clark.
And the book, Testimony. Remember the book on Amazon.
Right. So don't worry yourself, man. When we get part two, then we'll get a chance to hear more of, how the Lord has used you and also end up, instructing you as what to write, how to write what, and empower others as you go along. Thanks, Lisa and Clark, for being a blessing today. And we're looking forward to part two.
You're welcome. All the best.
Thank you.